We do live in an extremely miraculous universe. I mean, it's so much more than we could even imagine. I need to share just this little piece of Christmas because it was really kind of a miraculous thing. I have a very original daughter, and she gave me a really interesting plant that's attached to some moss on a piece of wood, and it's about that big. And she said, "Mom, there's one at the nurse or this place she goes, and it's 50 years old, and it covers the whole wall. So take good care of it." So put a little responsibility on me. But I'm not going to live 50 more years, I don't think. That's another miraculous thing. But anyway, it eats banana peels. And I was laughing. I said, right, okay. So, of course, in the morning, I got him. I said, well, let's feed it a banana peel. Just kidding. And I swear, we put a piece of banana peel, and it ate it. I just have to, life is miraculous. I'm just setting the tone for a miraculous life, okay? We'll see how long it lives. I'm not sure, but it's a fun thing to experience and work through. So, but I just want you to know, with this theme, what are your dreams? We live in this creative potential that's always working with us. The universe is always working with us, conspiring for our good, always. Now, it doesn't always feel like that, because sometimes we interpret it differently, but it's always there for us and giving us messages how to evolve into our greatest yet to be. So I want you to feel that in you as you just recognize that that's what this is all about. Now, there's 3 levels of dreaming we're going to be talking about this morning. And these dreams aren't those fanciful daydream dreams that, wishy-washy things. These are the concrete things that expand us into something more than we ever thought we could be. Ever thought. And of course, dreams, our minds are such miraculous things. These dreams that we have, the first level of dreaming is our nighttime dreams, our sleeping dreams. The dreams where the subconscious mind is talking to the subconscious mind is talking to the conscious mind. And it's about the guidance they're giving us to live our best life. They're revealing to us our major life concerns and allowing us to learn and grow from them. Emanuel Swedenborg, a famous Swedish, he started out as a scientist, very rational, logical-minded. But he journeyed through his life to a philosopher, a theologian, and became a mystic. And he wrote down his dreams in probably one of the oldest and longest dream journals about that transformational time of transforming from this logical, rational, scientific mind into this mind of a mystic. And he lived in, I think, 1688 to about 1772. And he's one of the most renowned mystics. I know Ernest Holmes studied him greatly, and so many people have. Brilliant man. And in 1974, a book, his Journal of Dreams, came out with an analytical interpretation from another brilliant-minded being, a mystical person who studied mystics, and that was Wilson Van Dusen. And this came out in 1974. And he talked about the power of dreams. And that as adults, we have about 8 dreams a night that are trying to guide us and direct us. And what are the major concerns in our mind? Do you ever have nightmares? Sometimes. Well, they're not things to be scared of. They're telling us messages of things that are to be known. And Van Dusen went on to talk about the infants even have more dreams because dreams speak to us in a symbolic language. A language that's way beyond that we brought with us. And so we're here to really interpret and analyze these dreams to find out where are our coagulated mental patterns. You know what those are? The limitation, the lack, the things, the mental patterns we have that we think of so often that they kind of obsess us. And they get coagulated in our mind and they don't allow that creative potential to snap through. So our dreams are there to help us. In fact, there was a man once who was having this absolutely terrible, awful, horrible dream. He was absolutely frozen in fear. There was this gigantic monster at the end of his bed, a phantom there. And the monster was there and he was terrified. And finally, he found his voice and he said, "What are you going to do to me?" And the monster goes, I don't know. It's your dream. What are you going to do with me? It's a good message for us that we have the power, the spiritual power that is greater than any of our human thoughts. And our spiritual power can redirect and form our life. We have to decide what we're going to do with our dreams. How we're going to use these dreams to really move ourselves into our greatest yet to be. We have waking dreams also. That would be the next level. It's where we get really conscious of how we're using our thoughts to create our experience. That we remember that we are these vibrational beings and we're creative energy. Now, remembering that we are the dreamer, not the dream maker. The dream maker is that power and presence of God that we tap into. And our waking dreams are really what we use this power for good in the universe. And see how in alignment we are, how much we are aligned with what the universe is trying to pull us into. Elizabeth Gilbert was on the front of our Science of Mind magazine a couple months ago, author of Eat, Love, Pray. And she talks about how we really have to keep a consciousness of self-restoration, because this world keeps trying to pull us back into our limitation and not good enough. She said here she popped into writing this book. That she's written many books, and many of them failed. Nobody's read them. And then she writes this one book, and she instantly becomes famous and successful. And the pressure it is now to keep on that road and forget that her gift here is to be a writer. And that's what she loves to do. And so we keep needing to remind ourselves of self-restoration. What makes us feel fully alive? She said we have to keep returning home. We know home is where the heart is, home is where our love is, home is where our passion is. And remember, what is it that makes us feel fully alive? Is it creativity? Is it adventure, invention? Is it family? Is it faith? Is it service? She said it could be raising corgis. It's just what makes us feel fully alive. And that's our home. That's why we're here. But we have to keep getting to that place. And in order to do that, it's moving through those coagulated thought forms that keep us stuck in, oh, I'm not good enough, there's not enough, and living in that lack and limitation. And our dreams help us do that. Our sleeping dreams can tell us our major life concerns that we need to work on. And our waking dreams are we working with the power that's here for us? Are we in alignment with the dreams that are calling us? Are we listening through spiritual practice to make that spiritual vortex to make ourselves available? Are we doing that? I'd like to share with you a poem by my favorite mystic, and that's 13th century Rumi. I don't know if he eats banana peels, but he really excites me anyway. The dream is a place that only the sleeper considers real. A dream is a place that only a sleeper considers real. Even though it fades at dawn, it stays, and it must be interpreted. Humankind is being led along an evolving course through the migration of intelligences. And though we seem to be sleeping, there is an inner wakefulness. That's that place in us that's untouched by any of the limiting thoughts. It's a place in us that pulls us into the new experience. An inner wakefulness that directs the dream. And that will eventually startle us back to the truth of who we are. So what I get from this beautiful, beautiful poem is that you and I have dreams that are guiding us to our greatest good, but we have to interpret them because they don't speak in the language of our mind. They speak in the language of our soul. And we have to interpret what they want from us. And then we have to tap into that inner wakefulness. And in order to do that, we have to move all those thoughts and feelings that keep us coagulated. It may be the hurts and pains in our heart that we need to open to a greater truth. It may be the mind that needs to be freed from all the old patterning, that we awaken and open to that spiritual vortex, that we can see something greater, something more that wants to be done with us. And that's what we're called to do. So those are the first two levels of dreaming, the sleeping dreaming, the wakeful dreaming. Now, there's a power for good in this universe and we can use it. And in this wakeful dreaming, you and I need to be affirming from the time we get up. We need to be visioning abundance, love, joy, possibility, whatever it is you want, harmony, peace, I don't know. We need to be visioning it from the time we wake up. Oh, this is a day of peace. This is a day of abundance. Peace and abundance. Love, peace, love. Whatever it is you want, absolutely set that power for good in motion. There's a power for good in the universe, and who can use it? If you didn't answer, you better say it. Me. We can use it. But there's a step beyond. You're doing a really good job. Remember, the poem said we're on an evolving course of awakening as our states, our intelligences grow. So even better than, not better, but more, that's lifting us into that new, advanced, awakened state, the state that wakes us up from sleeping, which, so many, Don Miguel Ruiz, when he wrote the Four Agreements, talked about his ancient Toltec religion that says, we're sleeping and we need to wake out of the illusion. We're sleeping. And it was St. Paul that said, it is time for us to wake up. It's time for us to wake up out of all of the things that keep us minimized, that keep us small. We just have to wake up. So using this power for good is perfect. And as we practice our spiritual practices, prayer, that's speaking to God, and the meditation of opening that channel, that pathway to listen, and then the visioning, where we use the power for good, but we let it use us. That's absolute surrender. Where we move from trying to control the outcome, and that's what Elizabeth Gilbert was talking about. Instead of worrying about the outcome of things, surrender into the creative essence of life. Surrender in what you're meant to be. What you're meant to be. It was Buckminster Fuller who said in this beautiful, beautiful quote, he said, never forget that you are one of a kind. Never forget that if you weren't needed here, you wouldn't be here. And never forget, no matter how overwhelming life challenges and problems may seem, one person can make a difference in the world. In fact, it's always because of one person that all the changes that matter will be made. So be that one person. Be that one person. We're all here for a reason. We all have something unique and special about us to give and to share. Ernest Holmes said, if we allow the power of love, the power of light, the power of life to flow through us, we would not only be healed, but we would heal others if we just allow that. So just close your eyes for a minute. And I'm just going to invite you to imagine right now that you step aside from any of those coagulated thoughts, the old hardened pains in your heart, the frustrations, the lack of forgiveness. Just step aside from all that. Let that go. And allow the power of love to flow through you now. Let the power of light that is love, that is light, that is possibility, that is creative potential, that is infinite intelligence, of which we are a part, which is the dream maker that's guiding and pulling us into a new expression of who we are, our unique gifts to be expanded and given, shared so that we feel fully alive. Just let that love flow through you as it picks up any of the residue of coagulation, of limitation, and prepares you, your beingness, for more love and peace and possibility and harmony and abundance and joy and goodness. Being prepared to step into a greater version of who you are. Just allow that to be right now. Allow that to be. And as you let this love flow through you and you become aware of this dream maker that is infinite intelligence, that is creative potential, that is spirit, God, love, unconditional love, that is there around us and through us. I'm just going to invite us to awaken right now to something more. Awaken into this love, this light that is calling to be expressed here in this moment, right now. Feel that physical vortex that we are creating. Oh, and if we could have a little music on this, Kirk, and stay in that state right now, because I'm just going to invite you in this moment, as you are open and available and receptive now, at this time of light, as we make these strong intention to release what no longer works and expand and grow. Just say, I let this power for good use me. I awaken to the truth of who I am. I am pulled by a vision right now. And just in that moment, as you feel that opening, allow yourself right here and right now, as you feel that opening, that spiritual vortex that is open, feel God's thoughts as they absolutely pull you into your next greatest expression. And then ask the question, what is that highest, the next highest expression of me that I am called to bring into this new year? Just ask yourself from that beautiful soul's point, what am I called to be brought into? As I wake up to my truth, as I wake up to my unique gifts, as I awaken into the spiritual possibility that is me. And again, this vision may not come in the human words. They may be a symbolic language and interpretation of the dreams that pull us, are continually pulling us into our greatest yet to be. So whatever it is, this vision for who you're becoming for this new year, it may be a word, it may be a feeling, it may be a visual, a symbol, but just feel it, allow it to pull you. Allow your vibration to lift up, be up-leveled. Let anything that is unlike it be neutralized. And just recognize in this moment what we need to leave behind, that we don't want to take with us into this new vision of ourselves. And let what you're leaving behind be just amended and transcended and purified and neutralized, that we can be free, that we can be free to give our inherent unique gifts to this world. And at this point, I'm going to invite up our ministers and practitioners to form a beautiful prayer wall here. And I'm going to invite those of you here to just know your prayer right now is to awaken. Awaken to this greatest yet to be. Awaken into this new vision, this new dream for yourself. A dream that is the outpicturing of the dream maker, that is the expression, being an expression, the fingertips, the life, the love, the outpicturing of God, of Spirit itself. So as you come to the prayer wall, today's prayer is, I awaken, and be supported in knowing you have everything you need for this new dream to materialize. And I invite you to come forward now in the possibility of this newness, to be supported in this new vision for yourself. Feel the vibration being uplifted with all the prayers and the positive knowing of truth that is happening right now. Just being open to the power and presence of infinite love. As we feel the freedom of letting go and letting God be God as us, of letting go of anything that keeps us in a small version of who we are meant to be, we truly allow this time right here, right now, to be a time of awakening, a time of remembering who we are. We allow ourselves to be free, to become. We allow this joy, this life force energy, the power and presence of the good that is here now, to uplift us, awaken us. And so I invite us all to release our prayers to the infinite mind of good, to the infinite law of mind that knows only to say yes to that which it has been given. We release it now. And in doing so, we give great thanks. We open ourselves to be so thankful for this teaching, for this knowing, for this community, for this life, for this world. We give thanks. And it is together in the certainty of knowing that it is done. We release it. And it is together we say, and so it is. Thank you all for being part, an integral part of my dream. To create a spiritual community that does just what I visioned, helps change the world one person at a time. We're doing it together. And I just say thank you. And so it is.